We are talking about baseline data. Now, what is baseline data? It's something that we collect both in introducing skill acquisition programs if we're teaching a new skill, and it's also something that we want to have if we're looking at behavior reduction programs. So what is baseline data?
Baseline data is really just, hey, what can you do before I teach you any of that stuff? So for instance, if we're taking baseline data for a skill acquisition program for something that I'm trying to teach you, I want to know what you know ahead of time. So for instance, if I say, you know what, one of your goals is going to be to learn colors. You need to learn how to identify and label colors. Fabulous. Sounds like a great goal. But then I go in and I teach you, I don't teach you, I test you ahead of time and I say, hey, what color is this? What color is this? What color is this? And you know all your colors. You don't need that program. That's what a baseline is. It says, oh, hey, Jimmy's already got his colors. I don't need to teach that part of it. Or I go in and I can say, oh, what color? And I've already determined, you know what? Jimmy's got 4 out of the 10 colors that I want to teach. Great. I don't need to teach those first 4 colors. Throw them out, save some time there, check off a box, and go on with teaching the 5th and 6th and 7th color.
And it also gives you a way to compare. So if, on this date before we started treatment, you knew like 10% of the answers, then we can look at, okay, after, a couple weeks, or daily data, however often you're taking data, you can see the progression of skill improving. So now at this point, maybe they know 60% of their colors or 80% of their colors, and eventually maybe 90 or 100%. So it's a great way to track progress as well. Baseline data also comes up when we're looking at behavior reduction. The reason for that is we have to know if our behavior interventions are working. And the only way to know if they're working is if we had a really good assessment of where they were before we started intervening. So looking at how often is the behavior happening, how long is it lasting, when is it happening? Any one of those things are great information to have. And collect as much information as you can get, because sometimes it may seem like it's still happening the same amount of time. It's still 3 times a day. But if you had information on the duration, maybe we could see, well, it's actually, getting shorter, which is really great. So collecting as much information on that behavior before you intervene will give you a lot of insight into whether the intervention is working.
I will get parents sometimes just saying, I thought you guys were targeting, this negative behavior. How come it's still happening? Oh my gosh, I thought it would happen quicker than this. Or why is my child still hitting? And that's when I can bring out the graphs and say, actually, according to our graphs, look at this baseline. Look what we collected 3 months ago before we started this treatment. Your child was engaging in this much behavior. And now, yeah, you know what? Your child is still hitting, but it's only this much. So that's why you also want to collect baseline data so that you can see and say, hey, no, you know what? I get it. You're in the moment and it feels like it's still happening like crazy amounts. But in fact, look at these data and then you can make quantitative decisions instead of qualitative decisions.
Data speak louder than words.